Well
Bob?
then, good afternoon, everybody. Season 2 is here. Catr and Kenard, Michael A. Friedman, Christopher Kenard Owens. We are so thankful y'all took the time out of your day to watch our brilliant program. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, a bunch of cool people started a school called the Broadcasting Institute of Maryland. Mike went there first, I went there second. They now call us BIMers, and we have scattered across the universe to spread the goodwill and life lessons of broadcasting and all that they include. So here we are. The world is on fire, in case you have not noticed, in case you've been living under a rock. It's June, so it's Pride Month. Happy Pride if you are a part of the LGBTQIA plus community. Lots of people are being killed, people who look like me. Too many names to mention. I maybe cried about twice. So for like the extent of season 2, we will be leaving donation funds, bailout funds, lots of great organizations of people who have like spent their whole lives advocating for those who have less rights than maybe you or me. In particular, I picked out two because Michael, my dear friend, the Mad Catr himself, picked out a couple related to Mr. George Floyd, may he rest in peace and in power. But the first one stopped accepting donations, and the second one raised over $14 million.
That's
That, my
awesome.
friends, is the power of organizing. Like, all this is not for nothing. And you know what all this is. We're not going to get into that because we wanted to keep things a little lighthearted, but to keep it on a serious note. I did some Googling and I found two particular organizations that will be included in the description of today's episode. One is from the Transgender District, based in California. Their donation page will be found there. And I found a GoFundMe in the name of a Mr. Robert Fuller. May he rest in peace and power as well. To keep things like straight to the point, that young man was lynched. Like, he did not commit suicide. No African American, no black person in this country would kill themselves in such a way. And like, um, yeah, I don't really want to get into it, but like the fact of the matter is, like, Robert Fuller was murdered, and justice will have its day. And the link that I found on the GoFundMe has raised over $200,000. It's exceeded its goal by at least 100,000.
I'm gonna
But
knock the
since
mic over. I'm clapping here. That's great.
no, but like this travesty has happened so recently, and I don't think it's gotten like the national attention that it deserves. So even though even though it has exceeded its goal, I want more people to learn his name and never forget what's happened to him, because he and about four other men have been lynched like in this country recently this month. Unacceptable. So if
And
you're
you're going
not
to
sure.
provide links for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. And I just want to include, before we move on to what we have to talk about today, if you feel that like you're not in a place to protest, if you're not comfortable being outside because coronavirus is still wreaking havoc in the world,
Yes.
like, it's okay. Like, you have a family to consider, you have your own life to like take care of. Maybe you have to work, you're an essential employee like me and Mike. So there are so many ways you can like learn information about how you can support those who are like just like carrying the torch for justice and love and truth. And feel free to reach out to either of us. We're on Instagram, Twitter, like YouTube. Like, that's what we're streaming right now. Hey, shout out to YouTube. So fear is a part of life. It's natural. Do not give into it. Like, we're going to win. Like, I don't care like how many like bad people are out there. Like, they're going to lose. We are going to win. We are playing the long game. It is a marathon, not a sprint. So
yeah, I talked to you last month or this month. Don't remember, but I just said I believe things are going to get better. And we're going to talk about positivity in a little bit. So
yeah, let me briefly bring up the docket on my screen. I did a little math yesterday, and math isn't my strongest subject, but
me
I
either.
realized that, see, exactly. Our episodes have become at least 90 minutes. Wait, at this point in our program. So I decided we just split things up, 45 minutes each, just so we wouldn't run out of things to talk about. I distinctly recall, excuse me, I had a belch. That our I'm not like our Black History Month episode. I feel like I could have done a lot better when we made it. And so going forward, we're going to have at least 8 things to talk about every single episode, and we may not even get to all 8 things, but like I want to make sure that I'm keeping like the docket stocked. So today, at least from like the Mad Catter's point of view, we have positive music. He and his family have been working on a positive music playlist that we're going to talk about, and I have a few songs to contribute myself to it.
Oh, cool! Yeah, I gave you that as a homework assignment. Yeah,
I do my homework. I don't know what you heard, but I do my homework.
As long as it's math homework, right?
Yeah, I don't. Nah. Brief side note: I took quantitative literacy in my senior year of high school, and once I took that class, I thought to myself, "Gee, if I took this every year, like for the last 12 years, I would be so more like financially literate." But that's another conversation for another day. We also have iTunes, the ongoing saga. We also have the word record. What does it mean? We're talking about record. You'll find out. And then we have listening to music currently, because I wanted to, we took a break for my friend Michael, and I want to see how his relationship to music has changed over the last month or so since we haven't recorded. For myself, we have drive-in concerts, because like I said, Miss Rona, excuse me, what?
I'm sorry, you were breaking out after you asked me about my current music trends. What did you say?
My topics include, firstly, drive-in theaters, because as you may be aware, Miss Rona, as I've decided to call her, and as many people in my community have started to call her, like, you can't go to a show, unfortunately. And that is like one of the few things I enjoy doing in this world. So some folks are like, maybe we should just like, stay in our cars and the band can still play and it'd be fun. And that's wanted to get your hot take on that. I also wanted to talk about, in light of recent events, the verification of information. And I wanted to, with it being June 16th, I wanted to talk about a holiday that's going to take place in 3 days, known as Juneteenth, because I believe personally it should be a national holiday. So I'll leave that for the back half of the show. And I didn't tell you this, Michael. I'm going to tell you this live right this minute. Okay. Yesterday, I was watching a YouTube video. I don't recall the creator's name, but I will make sure to put her video in like the full list of all the references we're going to make in today's episode. And recently, I have been watching a lot of videos from creators on this platform that follow the Billboard 200. And we know about Billboard. We learned about it in school, and it's very fascinating seeing what people listen to over the year and years past. Like, I don't think I'd be where I am right now with what we're doing and with music if it weren't for like the top 40 format. I know really haven't spent a lot of time talking about that, but it's related. So I wanted to get in on the action a little bit, bring us both into that realm so we have more people to possibly see our show. Okay. In particular, I'd like to shout out my dear friends, Spectrum Pulse, Diamond Studios. Let me see, the Double Agent, and I know there's one more that I'm forgetting. I'll throw them in the document. But I want to pivot the show, because last season we had Mad Catterness, which was fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah. This season, we are going to hit episode 20. And so on episode 20, I'd like us to talk about the Billboard Hot 200. In particular, the top 20 songs in the nation, like the biggest songs that people are listening to right now.
So 20 for 20.
Exactly. Well, yeah. See, there you go. You just named the program. Okay. So it's
kind of a reference to ESPN 30 for 30. So
see, there you go. I was thinking of like that new program with like Diane Sawyer or whatnot. But still, here's what we're going to do. You and I, for the next 8 episodes, you and I will be.
I am going to do a little cough off the air. Hold on.
Coronavirus.
You sounded like a puppet, but go ahead.
Fine. No. So from episode 12 to episode 20, you and I are going to be taking a very close look at like the top Billboard 20 list. Like we're going to look at the Hot 200 list and like the first 20 songs. We're going to keep an eye on that list, and it would be super helpful if you listen to all 20 songs.
Provide a link for that for the website to find that information.
Billboard.com. It's right on the homepage. I promise. Okay. I will, but like it's super easy to find.
Okay.
But your homework from episode 12 to episode 20 is to
Uh-huh.
keep an eye on this list because it changes every so often. You know what I mean? And so I'd like us to just like swoop in as like two like nerds of music to see what all the cool kids are listening to these days. You know, like the Zoomers are here and they're taking over as soon as like we get old and crotchety. So like let's see what kind of let's see how they're like becoming tastemakers in their own right. You know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
All right. So come episode 13, we're gonna like briefly list the top 20 on the Billboard Top 200 and just be like, yeah, I like that. Oh, I don't like that. Oh, I like that. I don't like that. We'll go into like the full like discussion of why we do and why we don't on episode 20. The whole episode.
Explain
episode 20,
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. We'll save like the full explanations on our feelings in episode 20 because the whole episode will be dedicated to that list. Because we'll have at least what 8 lists to like compare and contrast because we're gonna rank all 20 songs on episode 20 from the worst song to the best song. And that's where like the true debate will take place. You know what I mean? Because we come from different realms, so we don't necessarily agree on everything. So that is my announcement. That I'm looking forward to this. Like I want to like each time we like take a break and like reposition ourselves for the show. I want to do something big every time. You know, who knows what we'll do in season 3. Hopefully by then I'll be able to visit you or something like that. I'll come out to the OBX and we'll like do a live like we'll be together and like we'll be in suits and stuff like that. I don't know.
Yeah, I can dress up. Now, we also do a running thing that we talked about yesterday that we're going to continue, and I have my song. We recommend a song, and then before the next episode, we do our homework and we listen to the song that was given to us, and when we do the next episode, we're prepared to talk about what we thought about that song. So I have my song for you. So whenever we're doing that, I'm ready to give you my song.
Oh man, this is embarrassing. I'm not even gonna lie. If you haven't noticed already, I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And I too have my song for you, but I don't remember what it's called.
Okay.
But I know how to find it. So maybe while we're talking,
I don't remember what it's called. I don't know if I've ever heard that song before.
Oh, no. Oh no.
Yeah, I still haven't lost my humor.
Okay.
And a reaction, no to a joke of mine. You don't see that at comedy shows. You don't see people go no. But okay. So anyway, what are we going to talk about? Which topic are we talking about first?
Well, like we can start with yours. Tell me about this positive music playlist that you and your brother have started.
Well,
where did it come from?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like, where did it come from, and like how big is it, and what roles are playing in your life?
Well, as you said in the beginning, the world is on fire, so I thought I'd spread some positive vibes and talk about some positive music. My brother and I have come up with a playlist that includes these positive songs. And as I talked about yesterday, I guess it's ongoing because there's always more songs to be discovered that are and these are positive messages in the songs. So like the one song that I think of a lot, well, I need to think of probably need to think about it more often. I don't think about it that much, but it's an 80s song from Katrina and the Waves called Walking on Sunshine. And there is a lyric, and I don't have it in front of me.
I can pull it up if you want.
Sure.
Okay, I'll do that for you.
And mention I did ask on social media one time. I asked, what is a great lyric site? Like what's
I have a great.
I want the definitive one. I want the definitive. I like that word, definitive. I want the definitive one. Yes.
All right. Let me. I used to have one that was like pretty like There was one in particular that there's one in my mind with like a purple background. Yeah, I really liked A to Z lyrics for a long time, but then came this website called Genius, which at the time was called Rap Genius, and it was specifically for like hip hop lyricists and stuff like that. But it's evolved into just genius.com, and you can find any lyric for any song you've ever heard in your life on that website. Genius.com, genius.com, genius.com. This is not an ad. I'm a big fan. Genius.com, if you're watching, maybe you want to throw us a little dollars. I don't know. Be really cool. It's cool if you don't, but I love that site. I sincerely recommend from the bottom of my heart, genius.com to look up lyrics for songs.
Well, the lyric, if I can remember off the top of my head, it's near the end of the song.
Near the end, okay.
I feel the love. I feel the love. It's really real. Something like that. So, I mean, and plus it has the lyrics, walking on sunshine, which is, I mean, it has the word sunshine. So that's pretty positive. So that's a good song. Katrina and the Waves. That's from the 80s. And we also did I don't remember if my brother did this one or I did, but All You Need Is Love by the Beatles. Then we did John Lennon's song, Give Peace a Chance. I did Matthew Wilder, Break My Stride.
Oh, okay. That's all.
Now, Matthew Wilder, just a little music tidbit. I think basically that was his one hit. But later on in the early 2000s, he started writing for popular artists, wrote some songs for popular artists. So
like who?
Now I have to do my research.
There you go.
I think Miss Aguilera, but let me find out. Hold on. It could have been Pink. I'm probably getting him
possibly
confused.
Both.
You know about Linda Perry, right?
On Pink.
Born on Blondes.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
I don't really. Don't do it. Please don't. I beg of you. Don't do this. Not now. But yeah, I don't know why. I don't, because I like that song. I like that song a lot. It's one of the most important songs ever written, no question. But for some reason, I thought about the band Perry instead of just Linda Perry on her own. And I wonder what happened to them. I haven't heard their name in quite a while.
Yeah, they're a country band.
Oh, I know. Trust me, I know who they are. But it's been a while since I've seen their name pop up in the news or any publications for music.
So Matthew Wilder, that is coming up. Hold 1 minute.
That's fine. You mentioned Christina Aguilera, and I just was recently on Twitter watching a clip from one of her older music videos, and then another clip of her talking to a younger person who appeared on The Voice back in 2011, giving her just some really good advice and gems about what the song meant to her and how it's aged after all these years. I don't remember the name of the song, but if you Christina Aguilera fans, help me out.
Yeah,
Have you found it yet?
Are you asking me a question? Because
yes, I'm asking you a question. Are you still deep?
Matthew Wilder here? Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
So Matthew Wilder, under his artist info on iTunes, it's real short actually. The defiant chorus of Matthew Wilder's 1983 hit "Break My Stride." Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. Nobody gonna slow me down. Which I know is in a rap song. Can you tell me the rap song?
The only song I know that's referenced that particular phrase that the first time I heard that phrase, before I heard the Matthew song, I first heard it in a song by Matisse Yahoo, Jerusalem. That's the first time I heard that particular phrase. But I don't know which rap song used that particular lyric. No.
Could also that defiant chorus, it says, could also define his career. Wilder is one of the few artists who was able to escape from the stigma of having only one smash single and yet find more success in the music industry. In the early 70s, Wilder was part of the Greenwich Village folk duo Matthew and Peter. I actually did not remember that. Wilder moved to Los Angeles in 78 and sang on TV commercials. He also became a backup vocalist for Ricky Lee Jones and Bette Midler. In 83, Wilder released his first album, I Don't Speak the Language. Break My Stride reached the top 10 in the U.S. However, Wilder's second LP, 1984's Bouncing Off the Walls, flopped. Nevertheless, Wilder continued to write and produce for others. And here's the big one. In 95, Wilder produced No Doubt's multi-platinum debut, Tragic Kingdom, which has, what is that song? Spider Webs.
Yeah.
I'm Just a Girl, whatever that's called. Just a Girl. And then the kind of ballad, I can't think of that. But anyway,
Don't Speak,
Wilder,
probably.
Go ahead.
Was it Don't Speak?
Yeah. And then
okay.
Wilder's work, and there's also a good, well, I'll talk about that another time. Wilder's work on the Mulan soundtrack in 98 that earned him an Oscar nomination.
Wow.
So that's it from Matthew Wilder. So that's cool.
Okay. Just to fourth wall break, we're 20 minutes in, and I wanted to bring in 2 notes and possibly transition to the next topic. As you requested, I found the lyric that you were referring to from Walking on Sunshine, where the line is, I feel alive, I feel the love, I feel the love that's really real. So that's nice. That's nice and warm. And then I also exactly. Just because you asked me to since we're going to continue the tradition of recommending each other music, I found the name of the song, and let me tell you, the only reason why I found this song is because the label Art as Catharsis put out a free sampler of their lineup. I think I found it via Consequence of Sound or one of those sites, maybe Paste Magazine, and it was I made sure that I picked an instrumental song because I know it's your bias. So I will bring that up later. But before I do that, I would like to contribute 3 songs of my own for this positive music playlist because there's you, your brother, and now me. So I thought about doing 5, but I decided to do 3 because, again, I am flying by the seat of my trousers.
Okay.
The first song is by this progressive metal band called Haken, like Taken with an H. And the song is called The Endless Knot. I got into this band because I believe they opened for Devin Townsend, who is one of my favorite Canadian musicians, and they're on the same label, Inside Out Music. And The Endless Knot, one of the lyrics has aged really well during these times is, it takes a tragedy to make us one. So hopefully humanity will get their act together so we can just do what is necessary to maintain and protect life. Also, we have Shake It Out by Florence and the Machine. I think, personally, my favorite song by her. Florence Welch is one of the greatest musicians who ever lived. Don't at me, because, oh my goodness, she's spectacular. I have nothing but great things to say about her.
One of my favorite vocalists of all time.
Yeah, she's easily top 100 in her field. No questions about it. Shake It Out was one of her big hits, I believe, for her second album. She put an album out recently. How Blue, How Beautiful. I haven't heard the whole thing, but the lead single, Ship to Wreck, is pretty great if you want to check that out in general. And finally, we have Optimistic by Radiohead from Kid A. If people want to watch it, see, you know it already. I may have to pick something else, but maybe we'll think about that another time.
Well, that's not one of the songs you recommend me, so.
It's not. That's the one that I picked. I'm gonna save for a little later. I'll leave that last little nugget for the end of the show. Let me just go ahead and ask you: would you be interested in going to drive-through concerts? You know how back in the day, folks in the 50s and whatever would take their friends or significant others to drive-in theaters to watch movies.
I've been to drive-in movie theaters.
Okay, so would you be open to drive-in concerts?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. I think the cool thing about concerts is, well, I mean, so you roll down your windows, obviously.
No.
You just, it's like if you went to see fireworks and you rolled down you kept the windows up, you would still hear the fireworks. I'm not talking about a Katy Perry concert. Anyway,
Mm,
fireworks.
yeah,
Anyway,
yeah,
no, I
yeah.
mean, I guess it's so loud you can hear it without the windows down. I guess, uh, um, as long as we're doing the guidelines, I guess. Um, yeah, I mean, so how's the seating arranged? How do they have? Is it in a parking lot?
Well, I haven't really like linked any particular like articles or like think pieces about it, but just like I've only seen promo for one for a Mr. Mark Rebier, who's one of my favorite YouTubers right now. He does a lot of looping and rapping and singing. Very funny person. He has a show scheduled in Baltimore for a drive-in concert, and like it seems to be like as on paper, it's the no-brainer to me because people want to like see live music. They want to support their favorite artists, and you know, bands have to make money to tour. That's how they pay their bills. And um, what like the industry is in trouble, you know what I mean? Because like people, like successful people or just innovative people, like give just pick your poison, I guess. Like people who can afford to will make music in their own homes instead of like going to the studio because you can't really go to the studio unless you live there because like Miss Rona. But without that and without like streaming, which like let's keep it real, like I love Spotify and like I'm sure you're fond of iTunes, but like that stuff's not going to sustain these artists because the big companies they're holding all the dough. The labels they're holding all the dough. Like the radio stations, they got all well, maybe not the stations, honestly, especially not the on air staff. Hey, but the money's not really like flowing congruently for people who make the stuff we love to listen to. So what are we gonna do? Drive-ins are a great way to do this because like people they love their cars and like so there are so many ways people can like just innovate on this like concept. And my partner, Miss Sarah, hi Sarah, love you.
Hi, sir.
We were listening to music last night, and we were listening to Cage the Elephant. She loves that band, Cage the Elephant. And she looked at me and she's like, I have to see these people play, but I have to be sitting down. She doesn't like going to shows and standing the whole like hour and a half. Like she gets tired. Me, I
Shout
love
out
going
to the song Aberdeen.
I listen, it's like as much as I like music, I'm kind of a fair weather fan of Cage the Elephant. I think what they do, there aren't a lot of bands that do what they do. Like there are lots of associated acts I think that do like fit that like that sound of theirs that they've created and cultivated, but I don't know a lot of their songs by name. I've after like Thank You Happy Birthday, I kind of fell off if I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
Aberdeen is from that CD, so
Is it really? Well, I'm
yeah.
garbage. I'm garbage. I really just like Shake Me Down and
Back
the
against the wall.
no, the other one is like I still think it's very polite to around my head. Yeah, around
Yeah,
my head
that's a good song
slaps.
too.
Ooh man, I'm trying to like I can't wait for karaoke to open it back up because I'm going to slay that song. Let me tell you. But
So
okay.
you and Sarah were listening into it. Kids the Elephants yesterday.
Yeah. But like don't get distracted. You said like when I asked you about this drive-in concert thing, I sensed a lot of hesitation in your voice, like you were disappointed. And trust me, I know that disappointment better than most. But you caught yourself. You're like, well, safety is what matters the most at the time. And with all like the smart people in the world working on ways to like kick this corona out of here, like when the time is right, we'll be okay. Honestly, though, like between you and me, I give it 2 years before we're safe to go outside again. Like tops. Worst case scenario, 2022.
I don't.
But
This isn't official, but it seems like outside is better. Um, to go outside, it's better.
oh,
The germs can die. Again, I am not a medical professional, but this
hmm,
is what I've heard. But I haven't heard it from medical professionals that it's safer to be outside. Um, I know, and I'm pretty sure this is official, that when the sun is out, that kills germs. If I know this is official, at least where I am, when you can take a walk You just have to practice social distancing. Um, so you can go outside to walk. Just don't run into people, literally and figuratively. Hey, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a while. No. But you could talk to them from 6 feet if you can yell through your mask.
Just call him on the phone. Lil keeps like I've seen clips on Twitter of people like just dropping off supplies to like their loved ones and families, and just like saying hello from the porch, just like away, like next to
Oh
their
yeah, there's
vehicle.
people talking through windows and singing through windows, and
All sorts of cool stuff. Yeah.
There was a guy who went to see his wife in a retirement home, and he sang, I think, Amazing Grace. So
that's very sweet. I'll try and find that and post that in the description. Okay, let's move on. We have at least like what, 6 more topics to get around to.
Yeah, we're almost we're at the hour point.
No, we're not. We're at like the half-hour point. Maybe like
it's 12:30, so we have till 1:30.
That's what you meant. Okay, well, I mentioned iTunes when I mentioned Spotify. Tell me about your let's try and like combine 2 of your topics. Like let's bring up iTunes and your relationship to music since we've like stopped recording season 1. Go.
Which one? And let's start
iTunes first. iTunes first. Yeah.
The ongoing saga. Now, so
the ongoing saga.
The iTunes and what does the record mean? That is some things that you don't know about. These are topics that you don't really know about, but you did tell me before we finished talking yesterday, throw some topics on, and then but you do know about the ongoing saga. The ongoing saga is that when I download an album from iTunes and I want, I'm going to do this as we're talking. So if I went to my library, and this is just the way I do it. If it's wrong, you can tell me in a more efficient way. But if I went to, this is just a scenario. And so if I went to albums and I saw an album that I have and I wanted to, doesn't really matter. And what I do is I usually go up in the search and I type in, this is really how I am. And this is really how I do the things that when I burn an album. But if I'm doing it wrong again, tell me a more efficient way. But I go, and if I typed in this, and then I go, and that album comes up, and what I do is I take it and I left click it, and I drag it over to the left after I've bought this album. And so that album will be under music playlist. And it will say the name of the album. And if I went to right click and I did burn playlist to disk, and then I inserted a disk, usually it would burn. Well, the saga is that, and you're hearing some noises, that's me right-clicking and deleting it. Usually, it's going to burn it. Well, for some reason, like I downloaded a disc recently. I burned a disc. It was 12 tracks long.
Mm-hmm.
And when it was done recording, the CD only had, I think, eight tracks.
Oh, that's
Not
weird.
12. 8. So 4 tracks. What the heck? And so I remembered the ongoing saga. So I had to go back. I had to go to store up in the top under the Apple logo. I went to store. I went into I think account. That's loading here. So I went to store, and then I went to account, and then I went under the hidden purchases thing tab. And then I had to read, download them. So then it would be under the purchase part on the right-hand side on the store. And then I was able to drag that list over, and then all the tracks. So I had to go back and get those 4 songs again. Shouldn't have to do that.
I agree.
For some reason, for a long time, when I first started iTunes, up until 2018, I never had this problem. And then all of a sudden, and I have been trying to figure out the solution, and I have come up with a 0 in the solution category. So that is my ongoing saga.
Okay. I would say that I've been using iTunes since at least 2007, if I really had to put a date on it, until now. Like, I still use iTunes occasionally. Well, not occasionally. Whenever when my phone situation was a bit like shaky, I was using my iPod a lot more. So I'm consistently taking songs off my iPod, putting more songs on my iPod, and I have like a dragon's hoard of music on my computer, in the cloud, CDs, you name it. And so I haven't really purchased music via iTunes in a long time, maybe twice, significantly. And the second to last time, I had that issue where I pre-ordered an album and I never got the album. And the last time, I filled out a survey and they gave me like a $5 gift card online. That went off without a hitch. And when I was like really into burning CDs with my first laptop, I really didn't really burn albums that often. And when I did, it was for like other people who didn't really have an album or had a physical copy of said album. And so usually when I'm like doing my dragging and dropping, I'm making like what I try to make sure of is that the number of songs, like, because when I drag and drop a playlist or an album, like, it'll show the exact amount of songs in that album. So album A in this particular case, you mentioned, had 12 songs. So like when I drag and drop, it should be a complete 12 when I'm dragging and dropping. If it's not, there's a problem. And I don't have a solution either, because I'm not very like technically proficient. But while you're talking, I'm just like, this is the perfect way for me to try and convince this man, a Mad Catr, Michael A. Friedman, to just consider, don't make a decision today, but like, with all the money you're spending on CDs, I would think that you using Apple Music would like just save you a fortune and save you the issue. But you're the kind of person who puts a CD into his vehicle when he goes to work or wherever the heck that he has to go to. I'm not sure if like your CD player has like a 3.5 millimeter auxiliary cable input. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's an issue for you. But
you did mention that you bought a CD and you didn't have it. I had the CD, but it just didn't download all of it.
Yeah, and it's like the people. I don't want to like take a dump on Apple and their employees, because I don't know how hard it is to work for Apple, especially for like the iTunes technical support. Like, I don't want to like pretend like I know what's going on in their professional lives, like I know better. I don't. But with the way Apple innovates, like our problems seem so like insignificant. Like, these should be simple things to fix with like a click of a button or one phone call. And yet, like, here we are just like pulling our hair out, getting agitated at these things and these programs. So personally, I'm just like, I can't deal with it. But like, you are so ingrained in this, in like the way that you like consume your music. So it's really getting in your way. And
I'll tell you this. It wasn't that big of a deal to do what I did yesterday to fix it. But it's just one extra step that they could just streamline and figure this out.
I'm thinking, honestly, if you can't find a solution, because I'm the kind of guy who has to see the thing in order to attempt to fix the thing. But perhaps another solution you could possibly do, you need another source to buy your music, honestly. And I don't like recommending Amazon because Jeff Bezos, you are on my list. But
Yeah, right
Google
now
Play,
his he's not following the guidelines for coronavirus, so I think people are boycotting him right now. So
like I don't want to spend too much time talking about Mr. B, but Amazon, they're like the big bully on the block in regards to these big companies. Don't want to spend too much time about that. So I'm only mentioning because the only other options for people like you who buy music consistently are Amazon and Google Play. And I highly recommend Google Play. Again, not an ad, but for a period of my life, they were giving away a ton of great stuff for free. I have so much music for free because of Google Play.
and I also, real quick, I would be remiss if saying this off subject a little bit, but Happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
Is it really Father's Day?
No, but we're going to do another episode after Father's Day. So
when is Father's Day? I'm going to ask you live because I actually forgot.
I believe it's Wednesday.
Stop lying.
No,
Are you
no,
serious?
I'm sorry. I believe it's Thursday.
Okay, that means I have 2 days to call my siblings and figure out what are we going to do for Dad because I totally forgot.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Happy early Father's Day.
No. Okay. I'm sorry. That's somebody's birthday of mine that I know. It is. You still have even more time now. I believe it's the 21st. Let me just do the research now, and we'll save you time here.
And while we're doing that, let's take.
I don't want to keep pulling your strings here.
Nah, it's cool. Let's get to let's get to the last legs of your particular topics of the episode. June
21st. Yes,
June
my
21st?
listening
Okay.
habits since we've last talked.
Yes. So during the break, break it down for us. What's going on in your journey of love for music?
I really haven't listened to a lot of CDs since we last talked. I don't know. It's been hard listening to music. It's just I don't know. I don't really have much to talk about this topic. So I really haven't listened to a lot of CDs. Yeah, I really don't have much to talk about this topic.
I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm sorry to cut you off.
That's okay.
Question 1. The last recently, I was on my way to work, I think, and you texted me, "Hey, what CD should I listen to? Stevie Wonder or some other artist?" And I'm like, "Ooh, Stevie for sure." What album? Yeah. I asked you what album because I thought maybe I'll listen to. Never got around to it, but it's in my mind. I'm thinking about it. There's a whole list of stuff I have to listen to so I can get back with my friends and family about it. But when you listen to that Stevie Wonder album, did you enjoy it?
I have not finished listening to that yet.
You like it? Do you like it so far though?
It's difficult right now to listen to it right now. I'm just
difficult
not listening to CDs. I've probably only listened to 3 CDs since we've last talked.
Wow.
I'm not churning them out. But I still have it queued up in my car.
Do you want to would you like to elaborate on why it's difficult for you to get through it or listen to it?
No.
Okay, never mind. Then my only other question for you now, before we move on to the next topic, is what made you decide that you woke up one morning and said season 2 needs to start? Why'd you come back? Why do we I thought it would take you longer for you to want to create more episodes with me. So why now? What made you want to get back on the horse, as they say?
As a short answer, just to talk about music.
To rediscover that love, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I should have come up with a backup topic. Because
no, it's fine. That's fine. Listen, I told you this would happen. How there is the possibility you'll have 4 things to say and you'll talk about them for 4 exact minutes. I'm here for you in that regard. Let's just like smoothly move on to record or record. Are you talking about like the broadcasting term, or are we just talking about like vinyl and stuff, like or albums? Well, I want to do both personally.
Yeah. So a subject we've talked about before is a little TV show called Top 10 Revealed. And
Your favorite program of all time.
yeah. So yeah, right up there with Jeopardy. But yesterday I was watching their episode from Sunday called Yacht Rock. YACHT Rock. What's that?
It's so funny you mentioned yacht rock. I was listening to the podcast Song versus Song featuring Todd and the Shadows.
I've seen that. I've listened to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a great podcast. Todd, big fan, love you. They were one of their more recent episodes was about She's So High by Tal Bachman versus Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. Yeah, by the way, I hate both songs. I think they both suck. I much prefer She's So High by Blur, but that's neither here nor there. But they mentioned it because technically these songs are related to yacht rock, and I'm like, ew. Like,
yeah, these songs I can bring up because this season for the first time they put the top 10 list, so you can see it if you haven't watched the episode because you still can't really watch the full episodes. And I've talked.
You got Access TV.
Yeah, you can't you can watch reruns on TV, but that's really it. You can't.
And then only if you have cable. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Access TV is like a regular person's channel.
On a day that you just felt like, hey, I never saw that episode at 1:00 on a Wednesday. I want to go back and watch that episode. You can't do that unless it's playing on TV. So these songs really. I can't, and I really, this is the song. I can't, no, wait, what is it? The Michael McDonald song. I keep forgetting, which.
His probably biggest one, right?
His biggest solo song.
He's probably heard it in like a store somewhere. I know what you're talking about. Shout out to my mom. She loves Michael McDonald.
It might be. I'm forgetting, his other solo songs. But that doesn't qualify. I'm sorry.
Why not though? What is yacht rock in your mind? Tell me that.
Yacht rock. One of the artists that I think of when I think of yacht rock is Jimmy Buffett.
Oh, okay.
Now they do a segment called "If the List Was Longer," and because it's top 10 revealed. And so what is it called? Son of a Sailor was on the If the List Was Longer.
I never heard that song.
A Rich Girl by Hall & Oates made the list of the top 10. And I'm trying to bring it up right now. And let's see, here we go. So you go down, all the way down. You go to the top 10 yacht songs, list reveal. So number 10 was I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald. Number 9 is Come Sail Away by Styx. I've never thought of yacht rock when I think of Come Sail Away. Come Sail Away in the middle. And they talked about this because they have their commentators. It's kind of like if you remember the VH1 programs, I Love the 90s or Best Week Ever, I Love the 80s and 70s. Yeah, they have their commentators. So it's a mix of musicians. I mentioned one time about John Five, I think used to be a commentator, and we talked about him and his pedigree. But anyway,
big deal.
Come Sail Away, in the middle of the song, they rock out. I think of kind of relaxing music when I think of yacht rock. Come Sail Away, no. Easy by Commodores is number 8. Anyway. Number 7, Summer Breeze by Seals and Croft. I guess so. Number 6.
Yeah, I would too.
Number 6, The Things We Do for Love by 10cc. Not really. They did say a couple of these songs, and I made this little commentary about this. as a joke. They said a couple of these songs on the list are bouncy. I don't want to be bouncy on a boat and be thrown against the deck. Number 5, I know someone who considers this song one of the cheesiest songs ever. You're the Inspiration by Chicago. I thought it was called You're My Inspiration. Maybe they messed up.
It's You're the Inspiration for sure. My missus loves that song.
It is the and not my.
Yeah, it's the.
Okay. Kiss You All Over by Exile, which I never thought about this. I like that song.
I never heard that one before. I'm not going to lie to you.
They talked about it. The commentary, they said it was pretty risque back then. You can think about that. Kiss You All Over.
Yeah.
Number 3, and they do this on these lists. There's crossover. You'll see a song mentioned more than once on a list on a different topic. Brandy, You're a Fine Girl, Looking Glass was mentioned on another list. Don't remember the topic, but it was.
That song. Yep. I can see why that's on that list. Not going to lie to you.
They do talk about something nautical, I think. Number 2 was Rich Girl by Daryl Hall and John Oates. And then number 1, a little drum roll since this is a music program. Sailing by Christopher Cross.
That song.
Yeah, that song.
That song plays in purgatory. You can take that to the bank. Like, I'm not a Catholic. I don't necessarily believe in purgatory, but if I did, Sailing by Christopher Cross is playing. I promise you that.
Yeah, it's I hear it when I'm walking. I hear it down below. So anyway, that was. So why did I bring up that list?
Yeah, why did you?
I keep forgetting.
No.
I actually don't remember why we brought that up. Oh, record. Got it.
There we go. We're back.
So they've been doing shows. I think their recording schedule is that they have so many probably in their archive that they're ready to throw out there. And they have this one girl who passed away earlier this year. And they're still throwing out episodes that she's doing commentary. And she did one for Yacht Rock. And she actually wrote the lyrics to either September by Earth, Wind, and Fire or... Yeah, I think it might have been September.
What's her name?
Allie. I'm going to look her up.
Go ahead, please do so, because that's a big songwriting credit. That's monumental.
Let's see, what was her name?
If you while you're looking her up, I will when I think about Yacht Rock, only one older song and one newer song come to mind. I think about Rio by Duran Duran. Thanks to that movie, Sing Street, which I love. You would like that movie too, Sing Street. And Rio.
Yeah, I love that song, but
that's Yacht Rock as hell, if you ask me personally.
I don't think it's Yacht Rock, but my favorite part of Rio is at the very end. Which makes the way when I say that about certain songs, it makes it sound like, oh, when the song is off. No, my favorite part is where they go da 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 when he kind of sings along to the song. That's my favorite part. I really like that part. But I do like Rio. It's a good song. One of my favorite Duran. I don't want to bring up Wikipedia, so I'm trying.
Why not? Don't stop. Hey, you're wilding right now. Look girl up on Wikipedia.
September songwriters. That's what I put in.
I'm biased.
Her name is Allie. This is true because I know I've seen her name on the program. Allie Willis. ALLEEWILLIS. So she wrote that, but she passed away December last year.
Rest in peace.
But she mentioned, rest in peace. She mentioned, and I don't understand this. She was talking about a certain song, and she said something about how it was a hit record. Now,
Oh, so that's why you want to talk about it. Okay.
this is what I wanted to talk about. I do not like records. I kind of have a hatred for records.
Explain yourself.
What's that?
Explain yourself. Why?
Why do I hate it? I don't know. But I don't understand what she means. I thought records were a what do you call it? A wax object, not something in a museum, a wax museum. I thought they were a wax circular disc. I don't know, that's in a sleeve and has songs on it. I did not know one individual song is. She might have said
Michael, my friend, my friend. Michael.
She might have said this song was a hit record.
Michael.
I thought a disc was a record.
Michael, brother.
Yeah.
Like the term is used for many things. Like
even when I say I'm talking about one of my CDs, I might sometimes say, "Yeah, I have that record."
Yeah. It's just like it's the blanket term for a lot of things, bro. Like
it's really it's lax, LAX, right? People lazily they don't really care that they're not using the right definition. They just toss it around.
Not necessarily. It's a catch-all. You know what I'm saying? Like it's you like
okay, catch-all.
It's like if you're like and here. This goes back to my mantra.
Explain yourself.
All right, so check it out. So my mantra.
Out of record, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's whatever. But my mantra is that context is king, or whatever you want, whatever term you want to use for that. Like this, as long as the people in the conversation know the context, you can use the term record because we're recording, right? And there's a Guinness Book of World Records, and yes, vinyl. People often use record as the term for vinyl, and people there are so many terms there's so many ways you can use the word record or record. So as long as you know as long as you're keyed into the conversation, as
long as everybody gets you.
Yes, exactly. It's not that big of a deal. It's and this is the annoying thing about English that I found is that people they get their underpants in a bunch about how people talk, but it's since this country is so vast and people speak English all over the dang place, of course certain things are only going to be make sense to those folk.
Yeah, hey man, you want to be naturalized? All right, here's the rules to the language. Never mind, I'm going back to my country.
That's I absolutely English is so annoying to me because maybe you're a person, and maybe I've said this before on the show, but I'll say it again. It's I have so much respect for people who weren't born speaking English and then pick it up, because it's so hard to learn a freaking second language. And when you're not from the US of A or Canada or the UK and you move there to live your life not knowing English, that's so hard. And yet people still do it because they have to do what they have to do. We don't do those things. People our age don't say, you know what? You know where I want to live? Vietnam. Do you speak Vietnamese? No, but I want to live there. And then can you imagine how annoyed people would be who were born there? Why are these Americans just moving to Vietnam not knowing the language? They don't read, but people do that here and we give them a hard time. Nah, B. So
yeah.
And so
half an hour. Is there some topics you want to mention?
I'm gonna transition out into one of mine. You know what? I think I know exactly how I'm gonna pivot out of this. But I just want to say I understand your own frustration with we don't I thought we only use records for one thing, but the fact of the matter is we don't. We use it for a lot of stuff. And when this Allie Willis says September by Earth, Wind & Fire is a hit record,
yeah,
people in our realm know what she's talking about.
Yeah, that she was talking about it being a track, but it was a hit. It was a gold record or whatever. But
yes,
it's a track from an album. I'm not sure which one. I don't know the Earth, Wind & Fire discography. I like that word. Yeah. So apparently, a single is considered a record.
Yes.
And then that gets into a different discussion about singles, but we could talk about that another time. So if the whole party is clued into the definition, then that's cool. I mean, the English language, people.
It's annoying. I hate it.
If we were throwing people in jail for
Yes, we are.
for not following the English language, our jails would be pretty crowded.
Right now they're pretty crowded, but we can get to that another time.
Yeah.
13th Amendment. What? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into this brief discussion on the verification of information. You know, like let's address the elephant in the room.
Oh, you mean Schmickinidia?
No, don't disrespect Wikipedia a day in your life, fam. Wikipedia has put in the time. It is a reputable source. Yeah, but no. Well, actually, it is related. It is well certainly related to verification of information. I also wanted to bring up the fact that like with Black Lives Matter, like the movement, like it's becoming a lot more popular. It's become a sincere like part of being American since like the death of Trayvon Martin and so on and so forth. So like a lot of companies and in particular a lot of artists and bands have been put into a position where they have to make a statement. And those who advocates for justice don't really have to say anything because we know where they stand. But a lot of like bigger artists who have been kind of like silent and indifferent, now they have a decision to make whether they want to support like people like me or not. And hey, at the end of the day, like to anyone listening, that's your decision, but like every decision has a consequence. And so we've seen like, especially in like the heavy realm, like metal bands and such, punk bands, whatever, hardcore bands, like they have been getting culled. You know what I mean? Like just like usage of the N-word and like examples of anti-blackness and like a lack of understanding of how people of color live. Like that'll sideline your career permanently. And so a lot of accusations get thrown into the mix.
So you can't recover from that.
Yeah, and like at this like as far as I'm concerned, the law of the land is a one and done. If you break a social rule, like you may like honestly, you don't deserve to be famous anymore. You have to be a regular person like the rest of us. So when like these situations come up, it's best when we like debate or argue about like a person or a band or whatever. It's important that the information that we're looking at is verified. Every time like you pull up your feed, you see all sorts of articles and such. And what I'm talking about here is like people have been talking about this for like the last decade. You know, nothing new, but like I want you to hear from your local gumshoe, your local person, your local critic of the culture, like that. When these sort of things come up, don't believe the first thing that you see. Get a second opinion, get a third opinion. There are so many experts, so many analysts. And we have Google. So there's no reason why a person can't do their own research to come to their own conclusion. Even if it's the person you respect the most in their industry, don't take them at their word. And I'm saying that because one of my favorite rappers, No Name from Chicago, she's doing a lot of great work with like books in her city and music and social justice and such. And she tweeted, like I think it was yesterday, she tweeted, she's like, yo, like don't take a true like radical, like a person who's seeking revolution and like truth and justice. They come to their own conclusions. They do their own research. So many books, so many essays, so many speeches will get you to the information you want to know. So in relation to music, if like your fave is acting out of pockets and you care for them, maybe send them a DM and like, oh, like, hey, like, I'm not sure, I agree with what you're saying, and here's what I've learned, and here's how I feel the way I feel. Maybe they won't get back to you, but maybe like you'll only like land amongst like the trees with the other fans. But like, for everyone who loves music and is passionate about music, like if we want to support like the artists that we love and expand their creations to others who may not be aware, like be aware of the power that you hold. You know, like I know the lyric by Depeche Mode is that words are meaningless and forgettable, and in a way that they are, but they're also so powerful. And that's why we're seeing the things that are happening take place today. And that is the end of my brief bit on that.
Okay. That's good.
I think I've hit all of my points, and I think we've hit all of yours. We mentioned Father's Day. It's coming up on the 21st, but 2 days before Father's Day, we have Juneteenth, and I'm going to read from Google what Juneteenth is because there's a lot of confusion even today, and so much of American history kind of gets swept under the rug. So I'm going to put on my actual glasses for this.
I don't see your glasses, but I'll take your word for it.
Oh, you're looking up something? What are you looking up?
Let me pull it up. I was looking at our topics, but I see your glasses. And,
yeah.
I can read along with it. Where is this article?
It's not even an article. I Googled the meaning of Juneteenth because I'm aware, but I wanted to be sure I didn't speak out of turn. So Juneteenth, June 19th, is a holiday celebrated to commemorate the emancipation of enslaved Americans, blacks, African Americans, black people, slaves, and the emancipation of enslaved people in the United States. The holiday was celebrated in Texas, where on that date in 1865, in the aftermath of the Civil War, slaves were declared free under the terms of the 1862 Emancipation Proclamation. So it's kind of jacked up how folks in that state were even aware of the information that was made privy 3 years ago. And
now there is a website that is called Juneteenth.com.
See, good. I'll link that as well. I didn't even get that far, but I wanted to make aware to people who may not have been aware. There is a movement with the influx of support for Black Lives Matter. There is a movement being pushed to make Juneteenth a national holiday. And so,
if you go right to Juneteenth.com/history.htm, it's talking about kind of what you said. So. Yeah, I was not aware of it until a few days ago.
See, and you're much older than I am, and you still didn't know. So we know being in essential retail employees, information doesn't really flow in the right direction all the time as efficiently as it should. I have been working for the same company for the last 5 years, and they have a very I'll say as a side note, they have a strict don't post about your job on social media. Don't post a picture of yourself in your uniform. But with how enraged I've become with the injustices of my people, I let it fly on Twitter. My CEO, he's verified on Twitter, and so I've hit him up a couple times or mentioned my job a couple times on Twitter, and my job is publicly displayed on Facebook or whatever. But I don't tend to post myself in the uniform because I don't want the smoke. But the fact of the matter is, I've worked there for 5 years, same company, and I've worked at 3 different stores for this company. I'm at my 3rd iteration of this store.
Yeah.
Right now, I might stay there permanently if they can pay me more. But I find that the same problems have plagued my workplace for the same 5 years, and I say this all the time at my job. I'm not a complicated guy. I'm a very simple person when you break me down to my rudiments. So it's why can't we make decisions that our customers clearly want, and decisions that will make all of our lives so much easier for those of us on the front line? One of those changes took place, but I fear that it only took place from a greedy point of view. And I'm not going to get into it because I don't want to mess up the bag, but communication, oh my gosh, context and communication, those 2 things alone would change so many things about our way of life. You'll notice maybe I'm gonna bring up some COVID stuff again. Since when the focus in this country was, stay in the crib, don't leave the house for nothing. You know what I'm saying? There was a study that I saw on socials about how the environment made a bounce back because there were less of us out on the roads or out in the streets and stuff, less cars on the road and stuff like that. That's great. And I'm thinking, damn, we only stayed in the house to save our lives. But what if we could still do that kind of cool stuff for the environment when we're all out doing our thing? Because once Miss Rona is gone, we're gonna get back into the way we used to live. And newsflash for those who think so, the way the world worked before Corona is never coming back. Things have to change. Progression is natural, whether we bring it about ourselves or not. And I saw on BBC how there's just the news network in the UK, there's there's recent developments in like medicine that can like help people from getting this virus or like becoming violently ill from this virus. I saw a post on Facebook of a woman who had caught coronavirus twice. Like she got it, she healed, and like she went about her business, but then she caught it again. And like she only knew that she had caught it again because her blood pressure was higher than it should have been. And she's like, something's not right. I'm gonna go back to see my doctor. And they're like, oh, you caught it again. Living in Texas, I'm so sorry to hear that. And I hope that she pulls through because what I've heard about what this can do to you, it's so scary. I don't like scary movies, but what's happening to folks because of coronavirus, that is a horror movie. And I don't wish, maybe I wish that on my worst enemy, if I'm being honest, but like for like the people that I know in my life, like I don't want that to happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So like it is crucial. Like when it comes to thing about like when it comes to like with this music stuff, with when it comes to social justice, when it comes to like science and medicine and stuff like that, when it comes to our environment, the information, like it has to be correct and it has to flow forward. Oh shoot, hold on, we got a live comment here on YouTube. Okay. It's Sarah. It says, hey Owens, turn off your Bluetooth. Oops. My mistake. I'm going to do something live right this minute. My phone is on the floor. It is connected to the speaker that she was going to use. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing.
See? What did she say?
She says, turn off the Bluetooth. So I have to turn off my Bluetooth on my phone right now. And look at that. Like that's key. That's key communication. She's like, hey yo, like, can you do this thing for me? Because like you're making it hot. And I'm like,
oh man, relationship burn. Yeah.
Well, let me fix this right now. Fun fact.
Juneteenth. Now that I thought Juneteenth was let me read. It's the oldest nationally celebrated. Do you want to read it? It's at that link.
You go ahead. You already have it up anyway. We'll do that.
Juneteenth is the oldest nationally celebrated commemoration of the ending of slavery in the United States, dating back to 1865. It was on June 19th that the Union soldiers, led by Major General Gordon Granger, landed at Galveston, Texas, with news that the war had ended and that the enslaved were now free. Note that this was 2.5 years after President Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation, which had become official January 1st, 1863. The Emancipation Proclamation had little impact on the Texans due to the minimal number of Union troops to enforce the new executive order. However, with the surrender of General Lee in April of 1865 and the arrival of General Granger's regiment, the forces were finally strong enough to influence and overcome the resistance. There's another paragraph underneath that. Later attempts to explain the 2.5-year delay in the receipt of this important news have yielded several versions that have been handed down through the years. Often told is the story of a messenger who was murdered on his way to Texas with the news of freedom. Another is that the news was deliberately withheld by the enslavers to maintain the labor force on the plantations. And still another is that federal troops actually waited for the slave owners to reap the benefits of one last cotton harvest before going to Texas to enforce the Emancipation Proclamation, all of which, or none of these versions, could be true. Certainly, for some, President Lincoln's authority over the rebellious states was in question. Whatever the reasons, conditions in Texas remained status quo, well beyond what was statutory. After that, it says General Order Number 3, but if you want to check out that link, you can. There is a thing that says Juneteenth festivities and food. It says, just not to read the whole thing, it says in bold, rodeos, fishing, barbecuing, and baseball are just a few of the typical Juneteenth activities you may witness today. So, And it says Juneteenth almost always focused on education and self-improvement.
Well, just like I think we should cut it off there. And I just want to speak for the both of us when I say that like the Catr and the Kenard, like we don't want to like tell you what to do or how to think or what to say, but like we want to just make sure that we're providing information for you, the listener, and like take it as you will and like make of it what you will, you know, like as long as like from us you're going to get the truth. We're gonna shoot it to you straight because we care for you and we're so thankful that like you care to listen to what we have to say. So now let's take the last 15 minutes to care about what we're going to listen to.
Oh, okay.
All right. So my friend,
you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I'll go first, and I just want to shout out my dear Miss Sarah Henry for just dropping a comment, like drop in for the Bluetooth and stay for the history lesson. Like, bless you. I love you, Sarah. I mentioned earlier that I've become a new fan of the record label Art for Catharsis, based in Australia, and I knew in my head I had to choose an instrumental song since I know you love that kind of music, and I downloaded like the sampler for Art for Catharsis. I didn't really, or as Catharsis, I should say, and like I listened to some of it, but I didn't listen to all of it. And there's such a wide variety of genres that they have under their stable. And I stumbled upon a song called Mystic Flute, a version by the Zella Margosian Quintet from the album Transition. And I love this song. And I found that when I'm reading a comic book, I love listening to instrumental music. So like, because I focus on the words that are like on the page and whatnot, and the pictures and such. Not that I don't like my listening to like music with lyrics while I'm reading, but like it's so much more fun. Like I mentioned Google Play earlier in the episode, and I got a free classical music sampler from them. And listening to classical music or reading comic books is so much fun. I can't say that enough. So that is my friend and my recommendation to you, Mystic Flute, a version by the Zella Margosian Quintet, based out of Sydney, Australia.
Well, you need to mention somewhere to me online or something to these free samplers, because I'll check them out.
I don't know if like the Google one, like the Google, like I said, I got a lot of good stuff from Google Play. I don't think it's available anymore. But I will definitely like link. I'll tell you this: like, even though Google Play and iTunes aren't giving away, and I don't even think Amazon Music is giving away free stuff anymore. But you know who is? Bandcamp.com. Not an ad. I just really, really, really love this website. As far like if you're an artist or something like that, and you want to like get your music to the masses, go to Bandcamp first. Don't go to DistroKid or iTunes or Spotify. No. Okay. You want to go to Bandcamp. That's what, and I can tell you, I found so much good stuff on Bandcamp because they do the whole pay what you want thing.
That's probably where I saw the podcast that you used to do.
No, what do you mean? The one I did? You talk about Weekly Discover?
No, the one with the Bimmer.
Oh, with my dear friend. I want to use his moniker, his hip hop moniker.
Ducky.
That's me. I'm Ducky.
Oh yeah.
No, Mez the Great. Let's just say Mez the Great. No, we put we briefly had a show. Yeah, we briefly had a show and put it on SoundCloud. But I also recommend SoundCloud for like up and coming creators as well. But Bandcamp, a lot of great established acts.
I don't know anything about SoundCloud. I don't know anything about Bandcamp, so I'm learning now.
Stick with me, buddy. Like you're gonna go far. Tell me the song you wanted to recommend me. Like I'm very eager to get into some new stuff.
Okay, so the song is called. So I'll tell you the name of the artist first.
Yeah.
Actually, I'll tell you the artist first is Monster Dash, and then the number 0. The song is called, and I'll send it to you. The song is called Ryan, Ryan. I don't know any other. I can't think of any other spellings right now. Ryan writes, Rites, plays, Plays, and and those three words are capitalized. So Ryan writes
Okay.
plays, and the album that it's from is called Monster. The same thing as the artist, Monster Zero, Monster Dash Zero, Works for You.
Huh. Is this electronic music by any chance?
Some of the songs are, I think, electronic. Yes.
But is this song in particular? What is this song in particular an electronic song?
No. I
Ah,
can't
very
really.
interesting.
I don't really want to tell you that until you've heard it.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's okay. I like a
No, it
surprise. I
is
like a
fine.
surprise.
It's not fine. Anyway, so Monster Zero works for you, and the song is Ryan Writes Plays, and we have 7 minutes.
But like we can go in for another 10. That's okay. Unless you got places to be.
Well, we set a time, so eight more minutes. Let's do it in 8.
So be it. So be it. Closing statements. It's good to see you. It's been a while. Like, unlike myself, like I post a lot. Anyone who follows me on socials, Facebook, Twitter, you name it, I post a lot. So when I see a Friedman post on Facebook, I'm like, oh, there's my guy. I wonder how he's been. And I'm so like, it makes me sad to know that like you and music are going through a tough time because music for me is like breathing. Like, and with my newfound love for podcasts, like I'll often like wrestle with myself, like, oh, like
it's a newfound thing for you.
Well, yeah, I would say that I didn't really listen to podcasts until, oh my God, after college. If I'm being really honest with you.
What year?
Well, I dropped out of college in 2011, so I really only been into podcasts for like the last 8 years, honestly.
I didn't know you dropped out of college.
Well, I dropped out of college, my friend. Like I was blessed enough to be accepted into Purdue University.
Yes, I know.
And I dropped out. Where do I start? So I got into the school. I was so scared because I'm not a good student, if I'm being honest with you. And so I was told you can take a 6-month break and decide whether you want to come to the school then. And during that hiatus, like I came to BIM because I had to do something. Like you either go to college, go to community college, or go straight into the workforce. And I didn't know what to do. And thankfully, when my father was having a medical procedure done, a man that was there with him had a daughter that went to BIM. And she recommended me for the school, and I met with like Mr. John Jeppy, and like the rest is history. But
can you mention her name on there?
I don't remember her name, and we may have like ran into each other once or twice when I started going there, but I don't really remember, and I feel bad for that. But you know who you are. You changed my life, and thank you for that. Like I am where I am right in this moment because of you. So thank you to you and your family. But post BIM, you know the rules. It's like, oh, have a job in the business, have a good audition tape, or like
you had the requirement was you had to have a job before you graduated.
And I did not, honestly. Like, oh, I got water too. Cheers.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a job. I got an internship. That's what I said. It was job, internship, or good demo tape. And thankfully, I had an acceptable demo tape. Perry, Papa G, and Mr. Eldridge, they all like approved my audition tape. And
that was part of the band Perry, right?
No. Listen, that would be hilarious.
I tied it in.
John Perry, if you. Yo, shout out to the Pear Bear, yo, like a freaking legend. But
not very funny though.
You can have that. You can have that one. I'll let you have that one.
Yeah.
But I was an intern at a top 40 station in Indiana as a way to like transition from BIM to college, and that was great. And I really wish I could have like maintained my relationship with that particular station. I will post their URL in the show notes. Yo, those guys were so great to me. They'd help the They had me cut up commercials. Like I did a lot of voiceovers. I ran the front desk. They were going to take me to like a NASCAR event.
Voiceover, that's cool.
Oh, so I think I have a few left. Maybe I'll send them to you. And at one point, my living situation had changed in Indiana, so I had to go back to Maryland. But one of the guys was like, "You could come move into my house. I have a cat." But I said no because like I was like violently allergic to cats at the time. I've since then outgrown my like.
Man.
No, hey, listen. Like, this is related.
I can't talk with you anymore if you don't.
No. Listen, let me explain myself. At the time, my allergy to cat dander was really bad. Like, it really like interfered with my breathing. But when I came to Purdue, I lived across the hall from this wonderful man named Andy Henderson. I'm gonna name him live because I love him so much. Andy, he invited me to his home for Thanksgiving, and he had 3 cats. And I didn't know this until we were like halfway down the highway in his car. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm allergic to cat dander. I might die. And he's like, bro, I'm allergic to cat dander. And like, he just like gave me like over the counter, like allergy medication. And like, it hurt to breathe and it hurt to laugh, but I got over it. And like, I don't recommend that personally. I'm no doctor, so I don't, that's not like a catch-all.
Was that your antibody?
No. Say what?
Was that kind of like your antibody? You built it up to...
Well, I suppose you could say that, but like just for the record, I don't recommend that as like a catch-all of like getting over your allergy to cat dander. Like, please, like if you have medication for your allergies, please take them because I want you to live and be happy and healthy. But now, like I found that a lot of my friends who I love dearly have cats, like 2 to 3 or 4 cats, and I love them. They're so wonderful. They make me so happy to be around them. I love cats so much. But yeah, man, like. As a dropout and like even when I was in college, I had a radio show. I was thankful enough to live in like the quad that had a radio station in their basement next to like the laundry room. It was so much fun. Spotify was just like getting big in the States. It was around the time when like Watch the Throne by Kanye and Jay-Z came out. Like Wayne's Carter 4 came out. It was such a fun time in my life. And now with where I am now, and at 27, living out here in Philadelphia, music literally is like my oxygen. I don't start I start the day with a podcast, and when I leave to go to work, I put on some music. Like I have about 4 playlists from Spotify downloaded to my phone. I'm working on 3 other playlists.
That's another one I don't know much about is Spotify either.
Oh, well, like, and I'll say this because we're running out of time, but I'll say this. I don't recommend Spotify for you because you're like I said earlier, you're so like ingrained into like the Apple world. I think, and you have an Apple phone, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Like I intended in like the first episode of this show, I want you to have like access to stream something. You know what I mean? Like, granted, it costs something, but you're already spending so much on buying individual albums. So I feel that like the
last album I bought was not too much.
Yeah, but like you are consistently investing yourself in music. So I'm thinking if he's spending like what, maybe I don't know, like $100 a year on music, you might as well be streaming because that will just like when you're on the go, it'll be that much easier. Like say like you're out, I don't know, like you went on a road trip somewhere, you brought like 4 CDs, and maybe you listen to those CDs 4 times over on your road trip. What are you going to listen to next? Maybe you don't have a good connection to the radio. Maybe you hate listening to radio at that point. What are you going to do? You're going to stream, my dude. And plus, if you started streaming, I can make you a playlist. And I really, 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 really want to do that. But I know that I don't have to because you are consistently taking in new stuff and you haven't even heard everything that you have. And that's the thing about this show is that
that's an understatement. That's an understatement.
Oh
now, I wanted to real quick, if I can remember, there is a song called "We Will Rock You" by Queen, but they are changing the lyrics because of the coronavirus.
Different song. It's you're thinking of "We Are the Champions." They changed it to "You Are the Champion."
No.
What?
You're a big not wearing your mask. Spreading your germs all over the place.
Oh, that's a thing now. I wasn't aware. Wow! Yeah, shout out to Adam Lambert. I'm a fan.
I couldn't find. No, I mean he's not singing it. They're just. It's like a meme.
Oh, it's like a fan.
It's an image.
It's a meme. Okay, it's a meme. Oh,
I guess. So something like that. I just wanted to throw that out. But it is 1:30. We are going to listen to songs we recommended each other. We also are going to do some research about top 20, right? Billboard.
Oh yeah, like I will send you like the current top 20 from the Billboard Top 200 immediately. With barely like a minute left of the of our recording here, I just wanted to say for the absolute record, as far as speaking explicitly for myself, like Black Lives Matter. I wanted to say that. And it's June, so like it's Pride Month, and like Pride parades and such have been canceled because of like a corona. But like from the bottom of my heart, to lesbian, gay, transgender, intersex, asexual, and every other like group of people that I can't think of right now. Like, I'm here for you, I love you, and like I want to do everything that I can to like protect your livelihood, because I recall like there's this one famous person that's like, oh, like speaking about World War II and the Nazis, how like they came for every like um disenfranchised group before they finally came for him. And like in the same way how they came for like black folks, I want to be there for everybody else, because it's the least, like I've been shown love for the last 27 years, and I want to give that love right back. So Friedman, I love you, and to all of our listeners, I love you too. Thank you so much for listening. We're done. That's it. We're
All
back.
right.
Season
Black
2.
Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter, baby. See you next week, or whenever the heck we decide to record. Definitely in June, though. Later June.
And love everybody. Just love everybody. Get along.
Follow the golden rule. Do your best. Drink water. Wear a mask. We're out. Say bye, Blake.
Bye.
Bye.